Welcome once more to my channel. So in this tutorial I'll be showing you quickly how to cut a palazzo trouser, a very simple palazzo trouser, and a drop-in top with a bell sleeve. But first of all, we're going to be making a palazzo trouser. Please, if you know you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel, like and share. So first of all, I'm going to be indicating where my trouser is going to start from, which is that point over there. The next thing I'm doing, my fabric is folded, is on fold, it's folded into two, and I'm going to be cutting the front trouser first. So I just took 1.5 inch at that center right now. That's 1.5 is just an indication that this is where my trouser is going to start from. So if I want to add an allowance, I can add from there if need be. So I took it down to the length after taking the length of my trouser. Sorry, the camera is kind of positioned this way because I want you to see it closer. I went ahead, I'm taking the crotch right now. I took the crotch of my trouser and I added extra 1 inch because I want this trouser to be as free as possible. I don't want it so tight. So this is my crotch measurement. This is my crotch measurement, and on my crotch measurement I'll be taking my thigh measurement, the high thigh measurement. We have the high thigh, we have the low thigh before the knee. And when taking your thigh measurement, it should be a little bit free. So that is where I indicated the thigh measurement. You can as well add 1 inch to it for it to be free if you don't want it to be so tight. The next thing I'm going to take is my hip circumference. Now the thigh measurement is divided by 2, but the hip circumference is divided by 4. On that same line, that is where I'm going to be indicating it. Now, for you to be sure that you are on track, you should make sure that the distance between this your hip measurement and your crotch exact crotch measurement should be 2.5 inches or 3 inches depending on the size. Some can be 2 inches, but this is a very free palazzo, so I'm just showing you the simplest way to go on with it. Just make sure you take that point. The point I'm taking is the distance of my hip from my waist. Now usually I take 9 inches from my waist to my hip. Now I'm taking this point because this is where I want to have my beautiful curve. This beautiful curve you can see that I'm trying to get from that crotch to that hip measurement. It's ideal that you just take your hip measurement and do it that way. Most of the times the distance between that crotch measurement to your crotch line, rather to your hip line, can be 3 inches, can be 2.5 inches, but most of the time 3 inches is ideal. So that is for my crotch and my hip. I'm done with that part. I will go ahead and take my knee. I'll take the length of my trouser. I'm going to divide it by 2 to indicate where I will take my knee measurement from. Now I want you to understand that if the length of your trouser is 40, just divide it by 2 is going to be 20. Mark that line as your knee circumference or your knee line. As you can see, in this case mine is 22, so that is where I'm going to be taking the knee circumference. I want this to be free. I visually added 2 inches to all my circumferences, like my lap, my upper lap circumference, my lower lap circumference, my knee circumference, my ankle circumference. I added 2 inches because this is a palazzo trouser and it's supposed to be free. So I just had to make sure that it's as free as possible. So I just connected it to my knee and then down to the ankle. You can see that is free. So I'm just showing you, I'm trying to direct the camera so that you can see what exactly I'm trying to say. I'm also going to be fixing my pocket on this trouser, and I'll show you how to fix your trouser pocket. I have actually made a video on how to fix your trouser pocket, so if you don't know how to fix your side trouser pocket, you can just, I'll be dropping the link below so you can find a way to learn it and then know how to fix the pocket. So at that point, I'm started taking my waist right now. See the line I took the waist from. Now remember that we are going to be joining this with half an inch together. So I indicated that half an inch line that I'm going to use, and then I took my waist measurement and I added 1 inch allowance. Please note, I will be fixing a dart to this trouser, so I added 1 inch allowance and then I connected it to the hip. The hip I added 1 inch allowance also, just to be on the safer side, so that when I finish showing it, it's going to be a bit free. I'm just making the connection to the knee, that line at the knee, and then to the ankle. Please don't get confused because of the way I position the camera. I wanted you to see very, because of the kind of fabric I'm using. If you follow the instructions I'm giving, it will be very easy for you to cut it. You see the connection I made, and then to the M, you can see to the M. For the knee circumference by the side, I just added half an inch. For the hip, I added 1 inch. For the waist, I added 1 inch, and then I connected it to the ankle. You see how it is. It's very simple. This is going to be the front. I'll go ahead, I'll place this on the back and cut it after cutting the front. So I'll be cutting the back right now. You can see that I've placed the front on top of the back, and then remember that you have the back trouser is going to be higher than the front. So at that point where I did my cross connection, I'm going to be adding 1.5 inch. You can add 1 inch, 1.5 inch up, and I'm also going to be adding 1.5 inch for the back, to enable it to sit very well because of the buttocks. So I'm going to be adding the 1 inch, and I'm also going to be adding an invisible zipper for the back, so that space is there. And for my crotch extension, it's a cross. Please, for my crotch extension for the back, I extended by 3 inches, and then I just did 2.5 inches space. You can see the allowance I did for the back. If you do not want it to be so big, you can do it the same size with the front blow, because it's already a free palazzo trouser. So this is what you're going to have straight. I'm going to connect it down, then I'll cut it through. So at that point of the back, the higher side where I added 1 inch allowance, I just slanted it to the waist. Please, the waist, the side seam is going to be equal. It's just the crotch for the back that is going to be higher. So give it a very V slant to equalize it with the side, so that you can sew a beautiful trouser. So I went ahead and gave the front a very good slant, and I told you I'll be adding pockets to this trouser. So I just gave it a slant. I came down by 1 inch for the front. I'm so sorry for my camera. And then I gave it a slant up, like a V slant, like you do for your skirt. So I took 2 inches away. I took 2 inches away from the side seam. This is where I'm going to be taking my pocket. So I told you I've dropped a video on how to fix trouser pockets. I just went ahead to fix my pocket. So I went ahead to fix my pocket. I gave this a very simple dart for fitting because the waist was a little bit bigger, so you can see how it looks like. After joining the crotch, I went ahead to join the side together, and I'll be fixing the band. This is the band. The band is about 2.5 inches because I'm going to be using 1/2 inch to sew it, and I want to be left with 2 inches. So let's go ahead. For the top, I went ahead and I cut a very simple basic bodice, you can see, and I use stay for the neck. I did the same thing for the lining because I'm going to be using a lining. and I'm also going to be doing a neat finishing. So this is like an inseam finishing. This is my lining, and this is also my fabric. I'll be joining the neck together and also the body, but I'll be doing that separately. After joining the neck, I'll go ahead and join the body separately. So this is it. I went ahead and I did a very simple joining to the neck, and then you can see the side seam. I added 2 inches allowance to this when I was cutting it, and I just used 1 inch to sew because this is going to be a free hanging top. So this is the side seam. I'm just going ahead to press carefully. You can see that I didn't join it with the lining by the side. So I'm matching the end together, making sure that the side seam of my lining is the same with the side seam of my dress. So I went ahead to join it using my hemming gum too. So this is what it looks like. And then I went ahead to fix a zipper. You can see I did a neat turning. I fixed a zipper by the end of it before closing, and I brought it out from the armhole, through the armhole. So I'm going to be cutting the sleeve of this dress. I'm going to attach it to the bodies, and I'm also going to cut a belt, a flay, a 360 flay, and attach it to the body, and I'll show you the beautiful outcome. So this is me. I'm cutting the sleeve right now. The length of the sleeve is 25 inches, but I'm taking off 2 inches because I'm going to be adding a flay. And mind you, this flay is going to drop to cover the person's arm. It's going to cover the arm, and it's going to cover the fingers rather. So it's a dropping flay. So I folded my fabric into four to cut a simple 360 flay for the down. I took the length to be 8, and I just measured my wrist circumference there. And mind you, this is going to be a bit free. And I just took the length of the flay down. I'm entitled to cut it. Okay, so this is what this beautiful outfit looks like. See, check out the palazzo trouser, the waist is fitted, and then this dropping top. If you like this, please like and share.